Thank you very much. Well, as my dear friend mentioned, this weekend is the World Queer Music Festival. I left the stadium at 5:30 this morning, only because I had to be here. I think they may have ended about after 9 this morning, after 11 this morning. But I believe that we have about 25% of the Bajan population in Dominica now, you know. I want to recognize my dear friend, Honorable Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados and the political leader of the Barbados Labour Party. I like the word republic. Thank you. Distinguished members of cabinet, party chairman, and executive members of this great party, distinguished delegates and members of the Barbados Labour Party, friends and comrades all, good morning. I bring you warm fraternal greetings on behalf of the people of the Nature Isle of the Caribbean, a people who know what it is to be tried by storms and lifted by neighbors. And indeed, from your brothers and sisters of labor across the Caribbean community, I bring greetings as well. Today, I am privileged to stand before one of the most enduring and inspiring political institutions in the Caribbean, the Barbados Labour Party. A movement that, for almost 9 decades, has stood firmly on the side of the people, steadfast in principle, courageous in leadership, and visionary in purpose. The Delegates Conference of this great party has always been more than a formal annual gathering or routine political meeting. It is the heartbeat and living conscience of the Barbados Labour Party, the arena where ideas take root, where policies are shaped, and where the collective will of the people gives rise to leadership that has transformed not only this nation, but the entire Caribbean region. It was from this very platform that the Right Excellency Grantley Herbert Adams gave voice to the struggle for social justice, equality, and political enfranchisement. His leadership, anchored in the trust of delegates like you, laid the foundation for modern democracy in Barbados and inspired a generation of Caribbean leaders to follow the path of service and reform. It was also here that the Honorable JMGM Tom Adams energized a new era of modernization, efficiency, and nationalism and regionalism, proving that small island states could lead with boldness and vision. His conferences were not mere meetings. They were classrooms of leadership where the BLP's principles met the practical needs of a changing world. And it was here that the Right Honorable Owen Arthur, one of the greatest economic minds the Caribbean has produced, drew his strength and mandate. With the confidence of his delegates, he championed the cause of Caribbean integration, giving intellectual and political weight to our shared dream of a CARICOM single market and economy. And I remember with fond memories my working with our dear Prime Minister, Owen Arthur. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Today, as Barbados joins Belize, Dominica, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines to lead the way in the free movement of our Caribbean people, that proud tradition continues in the extraordinary leadership of our Prime Minister, and I say our Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. a daughter of the Barbados Labour Party, a leader of the Caribbean, and a voice of conscience for the world. You have in Mia Mottley, I believe, the best Prime Minister the Caribbean has seen in a very long time. And I will tell you, as a former student, as a former teacher, I don't give marks for free. From climate justice to global equity, from governance to innovation, Mia Mottley has carried the legacy of this party with distinction, and she has reminded the world that the Caribbean may be small in size, but never in influence. Her vision and courage have earned her the respect of nations far beyond our shores, and we in Dominica, and indeed all of CARICOM, are proud to walk beside her as partners and friends in this great Caribbean journey. I would like to share a memory that I carry, which I will never forget. There was a time when my country stood in a deep financial crisis, and doors that should have opened stayed shut. I said then that Dominica was at the mercies of others. In that difficult season, it was Barbados that reached out its hand to Dominica. The BLP government stepped forward to help when help was scarce. And in that cabinet sat a young minister named Mia Mottley. That moment told me something permanent about this country and about that woman. Barbados does not turn its back when a neighbor is in trouble. Mia does not look away when people need a friend. Dominica has never forgotten, and I have never forgotten. And again, I say thank you to Barbados and thank you to the Barbados Labour Party. And I will share with you one other example of the generosity of Barbados. It was in the 80s, and David Eugenia Charles, of blessed memory, was the Prime Minister of Dominica. And there were a couple months in the 80s when the government could not pay salaries. And by a mere telephone call to Tom Adams, Ms. Charles got the monies to pay the salaries in Dominica. My dear friends, I have known Prime Minister Mottley for years. On calls when the hour was late, in rooms where small islands must make big arguments, in quiet moments when a leader must carry a family's grief as if it were her own. I know the calm voice. I know the steel backbone. I know that when she speaks of Barbados, there is conviction in her mind and a care in her heart. She does not chase the easy headlines. She fights for the lasting outcome. That is leadership. That is Mia Mottley. My dear Barbadian family, we meet at a time when leadership truly matters. I have served long enough to know you cannot choose the weather. Storms will come, prices will rise, shocks will hit from far beyond our shores. And yes, there are days a prime minister must take the blows for fires they did not start. The test is not whether a leader can command during good weather. The test is whether she can keep the vision when the sky is dark. A real leader holds a calculator in one hand and a compass in the other. She tells the truth, steadies the ship, and does the hard work. Barbados, trust me when I tell you that steady, measured, tested leadership has never mattered more than it does now. And I have seen this leadership in this party and in this Prime Minister. The world has changed so dramatically in the last 10, 15 years. The world is cold, it's difficult, and I can tell you, we need leaders like Mia Mottley, ladies and gentlemen. The Caribbean is stronger today because of the voice of Mia Mottley. And I'm not saying this because I'm in her presence. I say this everywhere and to everyone. I have the great admiration and respect and love for this Prime Minister and for her commitment not only to Barbados, but to the Caribbean and the world. And I will tell you, I'll move away from my speech to tell you, and I know the Barbados Labour Party doesn't want to hear this, but I believe that Mia would be the best Secretary General of the United Nations. But I know you don't want to lose her. But she will be the best Secretary General of the United Nations ever. So think about it, my friends. Every time I mention this to a Bajan, especially a B, this you say Skerrit, no. Not now. And I agree with you, maybe not now, because we need her in the Caribbean, I can tell you. I also bring you a story of a Caribbean family that is not written in slogans, but in deeds. In the long night of the pandemic, when fare traveled faster than planes, our islands shared. We shared vaccines, we shared logistics, we shared know-how. I watched Mia pick up the phone, not to talk about cooperation, but to make it happen. Today, not tomorrow, she was insisting today. That is how the Caribbean moves. When one island receives a blessing, we spread it around. Yes, she gives great speeches, but her actions shine even brighter, ladies and gentlemen. Today, your theme says it best. When Labour leads, we Bajans succeed. I have seen that rhythm in my own life and in the lives of ordinary people. Our Labour parties share similar values, and I know firsthand that when Labour listens, the people lean in. When Labour works, the people win. And I have lived to see in Barbados that when Labour leads, Bajans succeed. And Bajans are indeed succeeding today. Across our region and across the world, Barbados' voice has echoed with clarity. Along with Dominica, you have insisted that global finance must be fair to small and climate vulnerable nations. That resilience is not a press release, but a budget line. That the rules must not be written only for the powerful, but for the decent and the diligent as well. My friends, I want you to know, as a fellow Prime Minister, that when Mia Mottley walks into a room on behalf of Barbados, she carries you with dignity and with force. Closer home, history has turned the page. Barbados, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Belize have taken a step our parents dreamed about and our grandparents prayed about, full free movement among our 4 states. Not a speech in the world can equal what that means at a kitchen table. It means a Barbadian and a Dominican can live and work across each other's shores with dignity, with rights, and with the promise of belonging. It means a young nurse can find a job where she is needed without asking a foreign capital for permission. It means a mason can answer opportunity with a plane ticket instead of a wish. In Dominica, we are proud to be pioneers alongside Barbados. And let me say it simply and sincerely to every Barbadian here. You are welcome. Welcome to live, to work, to build a business, to raise a family, to bring your skills and your dreams to the Commonwealth of Dominica. We are small on a map, yes, but together we are mighty. One labor pool, one shared marketplace, one larger future for our people. This is not just freedom to move. This is freedom to improve. And I know also a thing or two about longevity in office. I have carried the responsibilities of government through good days and grim ones. From the vantage point, I can tell you this: continuity matters when seas are rough. And I can tell you that the seas are very, very rough today. Leadership is not a moment, it is a marathon. And for a marathon, Barbados deserves someone with stamina. You have that in my friend and colleague Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, and your party leader, Mia Mottley. Before I became Prime Minister, I was a teacher. I served as Minister of Education. And those who know me well know that education is my passion. So, allow me a word about the future that begins in our classrooms. Education is not simply how many books are in a child's school bag, or how many subjects a child passes at an examination. Education at its best asks, who will this child become? What kind of citizen? What kind of creator? And what kind of leader? Some of the jobs our children will do have not been invented yet. The tools they will use are still being built. That is why transformation is a survival kit. I look at Barbados and see a country reshaping spaces, systems, and expectations so that your children graduate not only as leavers, but as leaders. We do not educate to fill timetables. We educate to fill tomorrows. This too is happening in my country. And Barbados, let me tell you, this is the right track. And I am taking notes of your education transformation here in Barbados. And you in the BLP must support the government's efforts towards the transformation of our education system. And let me say a word about delivery. It has been decades that I have been visiting Barbados. And I will say to you, on my retirement, I'm moving to Barbados. That Barbados is going to be my retirement home. I love this country very much and its people. But I've been visiting you for several decades now. And I can tell you that in the last 8 or so years, I see a Barbados that has been doing the hard work, unglamorous work that keeps a society decent and a people dignified. Delivery with decency, progress with purpose. That is what governing looks like when the television cameras leave. And I credit this to the leadership of our Prime Minister Mottley. I also know from hard experience the price of a storm. Dominica has been taught by wind and water. So I applaud Barbados for building resilience like Dominica. You know of the issues we have had to face with hurricanes. So when I tell you that finance that protects the most precious things is needed, the water in your taps, the beaches surrounding the island, the roofs over your heads, and the food on your tables, you can take these things to the bank, my dear friends. That is what it means to care for people. Sensible decisions, making things that are not the most attractive a priority. And so I urge the government to continue building with resilience, because we have no choice in this matter. Storms are going to come. They're going to come more ferociously. And while we speak, we pray for the people and government of Jamaica. Free movement, education, resilience, these are not attractive policy headings. They are opportunity engines. They match skills to strategies. They let families choose work without abandoning home. They help a small business sell across 4 markets without leaving the Caribbean for someone else's continent. We move not to leave home, but to lift home. And so let us all support the decision of the free movement of our people. My dear family, allow me one word to the faithful of this party from a friend who knows the rhythm of politics. I know how this goes. Guyana had elections, Trinidad had elections, Jamaica had elections. And I know people are asking when Dominic and Barbados will be going to the polls. I will say to the BLP, and I say to the ones at home, we are all in this together. Taking the country forward and expressing a set of values that we all believe in works best when everyone is moving forward in the same direction. I say again what I said at the start. I know this leader. I have seen her up close. I have watched her carry Barbados' case into rooms that were not built for us and make those rooms listen. I have watched her work quietly without a camera in sight to solve a problem for an ordinary person whose name no one will know. Barbados, I trust your Prime Minister. I am proud to call her my friend. I am proud to call her my colleague, our Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. And I know this country. Barbados is not a place that breaks easily or bends cheaply. Barbados is a place that stands up against and speaks plainly and reaches out its hand when a neighbor is in trouble. I saw it many years ago, as I told you. I saw it again when the world closed its doors and the Caribbean kept its windows open. I see it now in the way you are building for tomorrow while serving today. My dear friends, the story of Barbados is in many ways the story of the Caribbean itself, of struggle and sacrifice, of courage and conviction, of faith in the power of people united around a common cause. This delegates conference, like those before it, is not just a meeting to review policies or pass resolutions. It is a celebration of your history, a reaffirmation of your values, and a renewal of your commitment to serve the people of Barbados with humility and strength. From Sir Grantley to Mia, the party has shown that leadership is not inherited. It is earned, nurtured, and entrusted by the people. As you deliberate today, may you be guided by that proud tradition. May your discussions strengthen your unity, sharpen your focus, and renew your faith in the cause of people-centered development. And may the spirit of those great leaders, Adams, Arthur, and Mottley, continue to inspire this movement to higher heights of service in building a just, prosperous, peaceful Caribbean community. Barbados, I thank you profoundly and profusely for your kindness to my country. Thank you for your example to our region. Thank you for giving the Caribbean a voice that carries from Bridgetown to the world. And thank you for lending me your ears today so I could tell you something simple and true. You are well led. And I repeat, you are well led by this Prime Minister. And Prime Minister, in the midst of our celebrations yesterday, I followed your speech. And I extracted a portion of your speech and I posted it in the CARICOM Heads of Government chart this morning. And I did so that my colleagues can understand that leadership is crucially important today, now more than ever. And we have to be counted. We cannot cower under fear. We have to stand for principle and stand on the shoulders of the sacrifices of our foreparents who fought for our freedom and who fought for our independence. And we must always speak truth to power. And your speech yesterday was absolutely truth to power, representing what this great party in this great country stands for and what our foreparents have fought for so many generations. And so we stand with you on this. And this world, this Caribbean, must continue to be a zone of peace. We do not want any wars in our region. We solve problems by discussion, by dialogue, with diplomacy, and we sometimes have to agree to disagree, but we must do so peacefully and with respect for each other. Because if a war breaks out in the Caribbean, we will have some serious challenges in our respective countries. And we have an opportunity to prevent this from happening by adding our voices, that reason prevail and common sense come to our being, and let us work out our problems together. And of course, we in Barbados and Dominica, and indeed the wider Caribbean, offer ourselves as intermediators so that we can bring the two forces together and let us understand that there can be common sense and agreement and disagreement. But we have to ensure that we do not have a situation of our region descending into turmoil. We have to speak to this. And I thank the Prime Minister for her wonderful and strong message yesterday to the Barbados Labour Party and indeed the entire world. And so I want to thank you for inviting me today. I could not have not come here to be part of this conference, because if my sister calls me, I must answer. That's the love and the respect that I have for her. And that's the love and respect she has for me. And this is why I say to Humphreys, I call her Sister M. I call her Sister M. And I call her Sister M before she was Prime Minister. That has strengthened since she became Prime Minister. But I love this Prime Minister very much. And you have in this Prime Minister the leadership qualities that you need for today and for tomorrow. God bless you. God bless this great nation. God bless the Barbados Labour Party.